With Secretary of Agriculture Bill Northey for the state of Iowa. On the drive up here from Des Moines, I saw hundreds, if not thousands, of acres of burned out corn. What percentage of Iowa farmers have crop insurance, and how is that going to affect them going forward?
Yeah, crop insurance is very important. Compared to the 1988 drought, where very few would have had crop insurance, we have about 90% of Iowa's acres, corn and soybean acres, that are covered by crop insurance. Now, there's also hay acres, there's pasture acres, other kinds of things, and some of those producers, obviously 10% don't have it. But for the most part, it's a huge help to those crop farmers out there that are showing losses.
What do they peg the price at for corn under crop insurance?
So crop insurance is set, most folks have what's called either the spring or fall price election. You set the price in the spring based on the fall price, so the average in March of that fall price. Or if the fall price is higher, the average in October on the December price is actually higher, then it's the higher of either one of those. That allows you to sell a crop ahead of time or during the year and know that even if the fall price is higher, you can use those bushels to sell against that crop that you didn't get harvested.
You know, there's another issue that we've talked about with many people here, and that's the Farm Bill. You know, and it dovetails really into the crop insurance question, because producers are going, well, how am I going to be able to pay for my crop insurance next term out if I'm not assured of some kind of price support system in the Farm Bill? What's it going to take to get Congress to move on this?
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure. The farm groups have gone together to say we need a farm bill. This farm bill runs out September 30th. The Congress probably doesn't come back in until the 10th of September, so there's a very short window here. They may have a short extension, still trying to get a farm bill done by harvest, or by not too long after that September 30 deadline. But right now there's no agreement between the House and the Senate exactly what that farm bill would look like. Even if the House went ahead and passed it, it have to go to conference, it then has to pass both chambers. As you say, crop insurance is very important. It's about $7 billion of that farm bill, another $7 billion or so in conservation program payments, another $7 billion in other safety net, and then $80 billion worth of feeding programs that are part of that farm bill as well.
And you know, when we get to the feeding programs, you know, one of the things people say, well, you know, there's a lot of waste and perhaps fraud in the feeding programs, and that may or may not be true. But do people understand how the feeding programs affect Main Street in Iowa?
You know, I don't know that they necessarily do. In Main Street all across this country, I do sense that some of the support for the Farm Bill in the end won't be for crop insurance or farm programs. It'll be because of those feeding programs. So the fact that they're tied together makes some sense. I think we'll have some folks that will support a Farm Bill because of the feeding programs, probably not as many because of crop insurance, but crop insurance is very important as well to create that investment that producers need to make the next year. It's a huge investment in next year's crop, and if we don't have some form of insurance to help folks do that, we're liable to not produce as much, and that could obviously create higher grain prices and meat prices down the road.
If you had the opportunity to have a discussion with a non-farm state, you're the Secretary of Agriculture for Iowa, top producer of corn and soybeans, among other commodities, what would you tell them as to the importance of getting together and working out some common language that will support agriculture going forward?
Yeah, I think that the stake that folks have in agriculture is more than what they might realize. Economically, agriculture is still very important to this country and really been one of the strongest parts of the economy, and we want to keep that piece going in a struggling economy. Everyone's impacted by food prices and by the costs of that food. If people have to spend more money on food, they can't spend as much money in other areas, and it can not only slow the economy down, but it certainly can affect jobs in other parts of the economy. And so we definitely need to make sure that we encourage that agriculture. That means there needs to be stability. Agriculture is a very long-term business. That's why these farm bills are 5-year or 7-year farm bills, not annual farm bills. And it's really frustrating to folks that are obviously making decisions like buying new equipment based on 5- and 10-year or 20-year paybacks to be sitting here 30 days away from this farm bill not being in place and being without a farm bill and having no idea what the next policy is.
It's not a good business to be in at that point, is it?
No, it's not.
Uncertainty never breeds.
Uncertainty is a real challenge in an industry that already experiences uncertainty. We're talking a drought. Things that we can't control. We see regulations come as well from federal or state governments that provide additional uncertainties. So we don't want to pile on to that by not making decisions that eventually have to get made anyway. Let's get on with it. Let's get a farm bill.